Hello there, this is Melek and I'm going to show you a basic trap in a way. Yes, there are more basic, pressure plate on top of some TNT, but this is a sort of trap that, people who are learned would spot, but it's quite a clever little thing. And basically it's a sandfall trap. Now you can use gravel instead of sand. I find that gravel actually probably works better. It's not so obvious, especially if you're underground in tunnels. Make a few walls out of gravel, and it just looks like it's a deposit of gravel. As you can see, I've got my little area, and I'm thinking, oh, hang on a second, behind this door there's a chest. Well, that button's a little bit obvious. Well, the button must open the door. It didn't open, that's weird. And I've fallen down. Now obviously you would probably want something a little bit more deadly down here. Oh, I don't know, like a pool of lava, or a pit that falls all the way down to the bedrock, which you die when you hit the bottom of. But yeah, it's a pretty basic trap. The other way you could do it is you could have the sand up in the ceiling, and then it falls down and crushes you. And unless you dig out quickly, you're stuck in there and you're crushed to death. So I'm going to show you how to make this. There's a few little things. The first thing you need to do is know how to trigger water with redstone. Now I have redstone behind the button, which leads down to this trail, down toward this water pit here. Now what you do is you have it one deep here, two deep there. And you want the water to flow that way, away from the deepest part. So you put your water in there. Now once that's filled up, you dig away toward the redstone. Notice how the water hasn't actually filled the gap. It's just one of them little quirks. Put the redstone in. And then you dig a 2 deep pit this way. Again, it doesn't move. Now you can jump in here, jump in the water, do all sorts of things. As long as you don't dig away blocks or do anything like that, or activate the redstone for that matter, the water will stay where it is. When it does activate the redstone, it will then flow down this empty pit into here. Now you may be thinking, why is that part of the trap? You don't remember seeing any water when I fell down? Okay. Now, this is the next part of it. You put a torch here. Now you're thinking, why are you putting a torch there? Torches can hold up sand and gravel, but they are washed away with water. And the moment sand and gravel starts falling, nothing stops it. Not torches, not water. It'll just fall straight in there. So I put some sand on top of the torch, and the torch holds it up. And then what I do is I put actually one more torch there, and I put another block there, and then finally put two torches there, like that. So you've got this sort of very fragile, delicate scaffold. I then put torches both sides. So now when I look at the top, I've got a row of sand there, row of sand there, row of sand there. All basically held up by one torch right at the bottom. So it's basically, if that torch disappears, the whole thing falls down. So the button activates the redstone, which then triggers this water to suddenly realise, hang on a second, I need to be flowing that way. It flows down there, washes away the torch, and this whole thing just collapses. You see, the moment sand moves, torches that are attached to it, they just instantly disintegrate. So this whole thing collapses. Now the final part of the puzzle is why, when I press that button, and I will show you this without setting the whole thing off, why is it that when I press that button the door doesn't open? Because anyone who knows anything about redstone, you put a button next to a door, it opens. Well actually, this is a bit of a funny little quirk door. Now I'm going to dig away this door and show you why. And I'm very quickly going to disrupt that as well. If I put this door in the hole, it opens fine. A positive signal from the button opens the door. Now, you may have noticed when you do double doors, as you've seen in one of my previous tutorials, you do double doors and one of them doesn't work. One of them's kind of in reverse. Instead of being closed normally and then opens with a positive signal, it does the opposite. So what I do is I dig away this, and then put the door in. Now, see, press the button, door closes. And then finally, I have a lever here, which is active, and it feeds into the top of the door, keeping it closed at all times. So when you press the button, it just sends another positive signal into the door. Doesn't do a thing. So I flick the lever. I'm getting a bit of lag. Flick the lever, then close it behind me, and then I would seal that up. So it's your kind of secret way through. Finally, I'm just going to reconnect that. So here's my chest with all my goodies in. I'm going to leave for the day. Nobody's watching me. I'm going to close the door. Hey presto. Now, it's all set up and ready. The button won't open the door. It'll activate the water. The water will flow down, wash away the torch, and cause the whole thing to collapse. Let's see it again. Why didn't the door open? Oh. Simple as that, really. Hello, this is Malak, and welcome to another one of my mini tutorials. Today I'm going to be talking about note boxes, or note cubes, or note blocks, or whatever you want to call them. But they're the little, sort of, a bit like jukeboxes, but they only play one note. So they're actually really simple to do. So I'm just going to put down my bits, as it were. Right then, now they are basically made very simply they start out exactly the same as a chest, and then you chuck a bit of redstone in the middle and suddenly it's a note block, and I'm going to make 5 of them. That's pretty straightforward, if I do say so myself. The other thing I'm going to do for this little thing that I have in plan, so I'm going to create some redstone torches, and you'll see why later on in the tutorial. Okay. One last thing. Just a couple more sticks. So the general gist is you put them down on the floor, and you can either hit them with the left mouse button. Whoa, it's making a different sound than before. I heard something about you being able to make different sounds out of it. I think it's something to do with the fact that it's on sand. Right. Or, what you can do is just use a lever or a button. And it's just when that signal lights up that it makes the noise. And obviously we can use buttons as well. Very clever. Now I'm pretty sure, because last time I did this it was all on cobble and it made a drum sound. Oh, look at that. See? And there's other sounds it can make, but I'm not 100% sure what they are yet, so experiment. The other thing you can do is right click on it, and it makes a higher noise. And obviously I can demonstrate that. So now I've got one with sand underneath it like before, and it's like a snare drum type sound, but then I can go Oh yeah. So there you go. Pretty straightforward stuff. Now I had an idea for something, and I'm going to see if I can make that now. And here we have my crazy idea for an invention. What I've basically done is I've created a pulsar, and you can look at one of my other little mini tutorials to see how to do a pulsar, but I've done a 7-part pulsar. So as you can see, there's actually 7 blocks going in an anti-clockwise direction, and I've hooked off these 5 here some note blocks, and you'll actually see, looking at the notes popping off them, the first, the third, and then the 5th. In fact, really, I should look at it from the other perspective. As you can see, the first, leading from left to right, the first, the third, and the 5th have cobblestone underneath, so a nice deep drum beat. But the second and the 4th have sand underneath, and more of a high-pitched snare drum. I've tweaked the frequency up. Now, I'm not a musician, but I bet someone who knows about redstone, knows a bit about music, I bet they can make something seriously cool with this. I think there's something called an RX latch that can, basically, it's you can feed a pulsar into it and then it would slow down the pulse, and you could have all sorts of things, choruses maybe, I don't know, someone's built a full working CPU, I'm sure someone can build some sort of music generator. So I'll leave you with that really, and well, until next time I will leave you with that little thought. Goodbye.